minute. Kindly, we are live on Facebook.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We have three customers of Ashiana who live in Bhiwadi, work in Gurgaon, and they've gone through different experiences of choosing Bhiwadi. And it's very exciting to have them. इस interaction से मेरे को भी बहुत सारे feedbacks मिलते हैं, समझ आता है customer कैसे सोचता है. And I would love if you guys have any questions, please share it with us, and our customers would be more than happy to answer them for you. And I hope you get more value from it. For myself, I really want to thank them. It's a Sunday evening, family time, and I'm taking this hour away from them, from their family. I'm sorry, and I'm also thankful for you to join us. And we have got three customers. I won't introduce you to them right now as three of them. What I'll do is when I ask a question and somebody's answering, I will kind of introduce you to them. So the first, I'm going to go straight into the Q&A. The first question, and I'll start with Nagarjuna sir for that. And he is actually been living in Bhiwadi for 1 year, lived in Gurgaon for a bit, and working with Alibaba, now working for an app called Appy High. He's the director of strategy and business development there. And can we were discussing right before this about your, how did you choose Bhiwadi? What was your experience? And can you give us an idea of, what happened during the journey of buying into Bhiwadi?
Yes. Once again, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this invitation. And I think, it's really overwhelming to have being part of, this call. And I think my experience would give a lot of idea for people, who have got stuck with their mindset on choosing Bhiwadi or Ashiana town as location and property. So my journey started in 2018, like the typical property hunting after you get really annoyed with your landlords of not having the nail put in this wall, don't park the car over here, and like keep the volume down. And why is your friends coming like late night? Why is your family going in the morning? So it's typical, the journey that which, a person who is in a rented house go through. That is where already, it had struck my mind that, now I have to look for my own house. And of course, keeping the budgets in mind and, already living in an expensive city like NCR, finding a house or a dream home is really a challenge for a person like me, though, I come from a very, moderate South Indian family, where the values are high, but at the same time, our expenses are kept below low. Just to, make sure that, you have a calculative work-life balance types. So I always had this in mind, whenever I'm investing in a property, I make sure that, my every penny is being worth investing in it. And also considering the family. So the most important was how secure my family would be in the property that wherever I am moving in. So 2018, I got a call from, a society asking for, so you're being one of the prospects that were looking for a property. So we can, arrange, a slot for you that, where you can come and experience the property and see how worth it is to live in and, owning one probably, down the line. So initially, when I heard it, like it's around 50 kilometers from Gurgaon, the first question was, do we really need to go so far to look a house? But yes, of course, as we were really, in the process of looking for a property, that actually, made me to go all the way and see. The very first instance, when we landed in 2018, 12th of April. So was the first visit that I made to town. The first impression was like, wow. I mean, like middle of nowhere, but still this is like amazing. So for me, sort of secluded outskirt space with all this, lush green area away from the city, hustle bustle is something which I had always looked for. And this was something like, exactly to my taste. And even my wife had the same, requirements that how a property should look like, or rather, like what sort of requirements that we had. Like we had a checklist to be, tick everything. So one thing was sure that, okay, this is the property. But, when
you got on mute, sir.
It's not one decision. Like buying a house and owning a car is not one decision. It's more of a collective family decision that like, because ultimately there are like a couple of people who are going to live together with you. So when we really thought, okay, like, is this the right decision to make? The only thing that what we had, like, as a newly married couple at that time, 2 years to our marriage life. So we thought, really, it's going to really hamper our, lifestyle in a way that in terms of commuting and everything. That was the one reason that, why we stepped back at that time. Though we had finalized the tower, we had finalized the unit, what we want, but why we nearly backed out. No, it's all about the distance, and like we both are working. And if I'm out of, so I used to travel a lot. I used to probably travel 15 days a month. I used to be out of Gurgaon. At that time, like just giving that comfortness for my wife to travel between Gurgaon and Bhiwadi was something that which I was always worried about. Though we had a lot of options at that time, carpool and everything, but still, you are so addicted to living in Gurgaon, and suddenly, you have to take the challenge of traveling. Then that really, sort of took us a step back and think over it. And the surprising part starts from here. For the next 2 years, I went to Greater Noida, Faridabad, Neher Park, which is beyond that Faridabad area, and New Gurgaon, Sona Road. Trust me, seriously, not even one single property that we could really, sort of nail down. Okay, this is the one. Either it was beyond our budget, or it is something that which we really didn't like it, or maybe in terms of the amenities and vagera vagera. So, but somehow, like that, I would relate it in a way that, like you see a girl, suddenly, like you feel it, okay, oh, this is the one that which I want to, love at first sight, That was something that which was always there with Ashiana Town. I don't know why. For some reason, we both used to think, like, whenever we used to see a property and come back home, we used to like, आशियाना अच्छा था यार, वैसा तो ये नहीं है ना, वो पता नहीं, वो फील नहीं आ रहा है यहाँ पे. अरे वो गार्डन था ना वहाँ पे, वो स्केटरिंग भी था, आगे जाके बेबी होगा तो बेबी के लिए वहाँ पे क्रेच था, यहाँ पे वो फैसिलिटी नहीं है, कुछ चीजें हैं जो मिसिंग है. एंड बट स्टिल, अरे नहीं यार बहुत दूर है, छोड़ो, दूसरा कुछ देख लेंगे, we'll buy something else. And finally, when you are like elevating yourself in your career and your life, you ultimately, like come to a level that, you feel that, okay, now today I can afford something better. And the interesting part is in 2020, this is after 2 years, entire journey went into property hunting. 2020, Godrej had got a plan, 80-20. We were like, done deal, bonus आ गया, चलो अच्छा खासा पैसा तो आ गया, 15-20 लाख रुपए डिपॉजिट दे देंगे, 3 साल के बाद प्रोजेक्ट मिलेगा, गोदरेज नेचर प्लस, सोना रोड, बादशाहपुर हाईवे, फ्लाईओवर, amazing everything. But trust me, I had one of the worst customer service experience. I should not say this, maybe everyone has their perspective, but personally, I was so badly humiliated that ultimately, at one point, the salesperson literally judged my power of buying. I was owning for a 3 BHK with a budget of 1.16 CR, which is way beyond my budget, to be honest, which was 50% way beyond my budget. But still, I had that confidence that, okay, every year, this is what my growth is. By 5 years, I'm going to achieve this and I'm going to be debt free. This was my target and this was my perfect calculation that which I do. But I was so badly humiliated that people started like judging that, like, do you really can afford? Okay, sir, छोड़ो 3 BHK छोड़ दो, आप एक काम करो 2 BHK ले लो, आपको 20 लाख सस्ता मिलेगा. I was like, who are you to judge me? Really, I mean, like, I was like, the check was ready, everything was ready. I was just about to give the check the next day. And again, another miracle happened. The same day, I was so disappointed. I got a call from Rahul. Uh, it was a WhatsApp message, basically. With the beautiful EMI scheme, 24 months, move into your dream home. I was like, this is something interesting. I've never seen such schemes. Like, people are overwhelmingly welcoming you to come home, you pay this much, and then rest is taken care. I was like, okay, something interesting. I was doing my vegetable shopping at that time. My wife was really disappointed because, like we couldn't book the property. So I took the call. I said, like, this is something interesting. Again, Ashiana. So I think we should give it a shot. So without delay, I just called Rahul and I texted Rahul and I said that call me back. And I got a call within like on 3 to 4 minutes. spot, I guess. So I spoke to him for about 15-20 minutes, and I understood the plan and everything. We said like, okay, probably now it's the time. Let's go and see if it's still the same, or like, do we still have the same feeling for the property, and what sort of development that has been happened in the last 2 years. Let's go have a look. But unfortunately, it was a lockdown period, and so I had a baby at that time. Like she was 15 days old. We were like, okay, let's take a break and see what can happen. And after that 15 days, I was in touch with Rahul, and I gave all my requirements of the property. So I said like, I want this facing this, the kitchen should be this side, and I should have the gallery towards this side. So one thing that which I really like about Rahul is he understands customers' pain points so well, so well. I mean, like telling him something is something that you get it whatever you want. And Ankurji, believe me, I saw only one unit, and that was the last and final. He exactly met my expectation on dot. Not even like 99.9%. It was 100%. The day I came, he said, "So this is the property that I shared with you." He had made a beautiful video with all this, angles of north, east, west with the degree and all. So I was completely satisfied at that moment only. But when I came, I was so satisfied. I said, like, Rahul, you have made my day. He said, like, sir, और भी कुछ देखना है तो मेरे पास बड़ा unit है. You can look. I said, like, you have met my expectation. This is the unit and this is my house. Let me know. Let's discuss and sign the check. And the same day I made the booking amount. I said, like, done. And imagine 2 years of house hunting just closed in 15 days. Rather, I could roll one day. That's just because of lockdown.
And you had a dream to be debt free for within 5 years buying a house. Am I correct? Did I hear that
Right,
correctly?
right.
And how are you doing on your house purchase? Are you close to being debt free?
Let me tell you. See, I'm a single parent child, and growing up all by yourself is even more challenging because these days, at least at my age, I see my friends and colleagues who get crazy amount of family support in terms of financials, in terms of their lifestyle and everything. But for me, I had to do everything by myself. For the last 13 years, I've been doing everything for myself and for my family, as my father passed away 13 years back. So I understand that how important the money is. Earning money and spending money is two things. Like you spend within a minute, but to earn the same, probably there is no other business in the world other than you are an Ambani that you make 5 lakhs a minute. So that was the case. But for me, the best part was buying a property with Ashiana. I didn't just buy a house. I bought a home. With that, I fulfilled all my dreams. Today, I have a car. I had a humble Maruti Wagoner for almost about like 7 years, and the money that which I saved by buying a property in Ashiana, I bought a brand new XUV 300 from the showroom, like the brand new car for myself, and I bought a Harley Davidson for myself, that which I had a long time dream to have a super bike for myself. सो आप देख रहे हो ना, मतलब जितना बजट मेरा था उसमें से मैंने घर भी लिया, मैंने ब्रांड न्यू कार भी लिया और मैंने ब्रांड न्यू बाइक भी लिया. So
Awesome, man.
I
And I
fulfilled
understand
everything.
and I understand you're shopping right now in Gurgaon for your house. So great stuff. But it's lovely. Let me move to Keegan, sir. Keegan, you had a very different journey. You work with Yamaha. You've been an Ashana customer for 5 years, living in Tarang for 2 years, and you've been you and your wife have been awesome people. I love you guys. And can you tell me a little bit of your journey and how did you choose Bhiwadi?
Yeah, so let me maybe quickly go through this. Yeah, so in fact, there's a time that comes in your life where you got to take a decision, and not taking a decision is also a decision. And that was a very tough decision for me to take because I was living in Gurgaon for, I think, almost 9 years then. And we are millennials, it's difficult to get commitment out of us. First commitment was getting married. Second commitment was having a kid. Third commitment was the house. Now, when the question came about the house and we were living in Gurgaon, and I had to take a call because it was with my daughter was growing. She was getting ready to go to school. So we had to take a call on a school first. It was not actually with the house. So I had to take a decision on which city I had to have work in that city. I had to have a school, so a good school, so my daughter could go. And the decision was quit my current job at Yamaha and maybe look at cities like Hyderabad and Pune, because Gurgaon was like very expensive. It did not make sense because I cannot spend the rest of my life, going around paying an EMI. I also got to, keep a monthly fund where I can, keep enough of money for me beyond my retirement time, to keep maintaining the same lifestyle. But what I could see with children in our society, which we used to live in Gurgaon, is I saw the kids. They knew the value of everything, and they knew the price of everything and value of nothing. Like they knew, like when if you need to have a phone, you need to have an iPhone. If you had a car, you need to have a BMW. It was all about brands. It was all about knowing the price of these products, but not value. So I said, boy, I do not want to, go this way with my daughter. I need proper education at the price of education, not at the price of some kind of status. My status should not be decided by which school my daughter is going to. So we, like, Bhiwadi or going to Alwar, was like holiday. They were like weekend drive. So one weekend we were driving down Bhiwadi and we saw lots of properties, and properties they look pretty, affordable. But the idea was not to come and stay out here. The idea was to just invest and continue to live in Gurgaon. But when we got to know, like, this makes sense, I can still work in Gurgaon and I can I can live in Bhiwadi, and then schooling was not very expensive compared to Gurgaon. So we decided, let's shift and stay in a property which we had decided, that was Darueda. So we were staying in Darueda. Till then I did not know about Ashiana, because none of the magic bricks or the 99 acres talk about Ashiana. So we saw a property, we liked the property. So before buying, I said, let me decide by coming, staying, having a touch and feel of the property, the maintenance and all, and then let's take a call. So my daughter joined a school in Dharueda, and then we started staying. And then I saw this big hoardings when we were driving around. We had shortlisted 3 properties and we had to finalize between them. It's big Ashiana hoardings, and I never heard of Ashiana before. And then we said, let us, go and see what this Ashiana is all about. So the first one I saw was one of the maybe very basic properties of Ashiana, the Surbi. I entered in. The salespeople were not over promising, they were just telling you what was possible and they were not over promising like the other properties that I went. But when I looked at the construction, the quality and the detailing that was there, and how nicely a property could be made compared to the property which I had seen earlier, it was like way better. It was in a totally different level. So I asked him, do you have something else? If you say this is what is basic, bare minimum you can give us, there's something called town. Then Tarang was not ready; they were just building it. The same experience was what Nagarjun had said. You go to town and it's like, wow, different world. It is like something that your friends at work in Gurgaon would envy if you even had this property, and the price was just.
I totally
perfect.
agree with it.
So the idea was, now I like I said, there is a certain time and a certain age you have to take a call about, they're very tough decisions, school, city, work. And now Bhiwadi was working in terms of meeting my goals and also my pain points. I came here for school, but, the amount of money I was paying in Gurgaon for maybe for my rent was an EMI here. And now I was basically paying myself. I was not giving my money to somebody else. And also keeping in mind that I, also could keep extra amount, for post-retirement to maintain a lifestyle. So the dilemma between me and my wife was now which property. Forget the other one. Now it was a competition between the Ashianas. And we just could not make a decision which Ashiana to go, because I wanted town. I just wanted to immediately move in and start getting my tax benefits. But my wife said that was a little bit further because we are in Gurgaon. Why don't you go for Tarang? And maybe at that time, what price we were getting a 2 BHK in town was a 3 BHK in Tarang. The question was just to wait for another 2 months. Then we look. You cannot go against your wife. So I had to give in. So we booked Tarang, and the cost of that time in 2016, what I was getting 2 BHK in town, I could get a 3 BHK here in Tarang. So it was just a matter of a couple of months. They had given me good offers also during that time, and I took whatever was available on the table in terms of the offers and discounts that were there, to get my the basic price as low as possible, so that I don't have to pay too much for registry. And that was how, in terms of buying experience, it was superb. There was no doubt about it. I am a marketer and I know exactly how customer journey works. I did everything possible to see where I could find fault with Ashiana, right? From the Indian Real Estate Forum, people and the customers were just praising it, so I had no doubt about it. There is a time when you make your payment, those 30 days that Ashiana gives you to take your money back, you are like in the biggest dilemma whether I need to take my money back, whether I think that's the right decision. And there was a book that Badri, the sales guy, handed it over to me. I do not know, it was released during that time. It was Wisdom from the Heart. And that book like sealed it all for me. It was not about, buying a product. It was all about values. That book had everything that was there for me. It is not about, buying something. It was like, I've got money. I know there are lots of people out there to take my money. Real estate has got a very, very bad name in this country. At least I was giving the money to people who are worth it.
True.
And once I read that book, I said, like, there was no doubt I am investing in the right place, and my money is being given to at least someone, a company that really values it and is worth it, and it was having the same kind of values. And like that one book was something that got that straight solid foundation. Plus I also went across there was a YouTube video by I think Vishal Gupta.
Yeah. Vishal, that's my elder brother.
Vishal, I think Varun. Sorry, it was Varun Gupta, Fundu professor, MDI.
Yeah, that's Varun. Yeah, correct. When he was talking about the valuation.
It was a YouTube video that all about real estate and the way Ashiana is positioned and all. That was also a nice in getting that confidence in the brand and what the brand was all about. So yeah, that is my my journey about purchasing Ashiana, and it has been a joy to that I've purchased a place. Yeah. Like, even I had dreams of having a place with a beautiful lifestyle. What I definitely could not imagine a lifestyle like this in Gurgaon, where you pay really huge amount of money. Now I've got enough of money. Maybe I remember in the beginning I used to go on weekends to Gurgaon. When I used to be in Gurgaon, I used to like not dare get into a mall because there was not enough of money to spend in the mall. Now I can drive over a weekend, spend the whole day in the mall, eat out, go watch a movie, and come back and still have lots of money.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm doing today.
Yeah, that's fun. That's life. Yeah, you need to enjoy your life. Yeah, what are you working for?
I've already burned 70,000 since morning.
So nice, and thank you, Keegan sir. And just to tell the viewers, the book he was mentioning was on basically on my dad, on how he built Ashiana and his values on Ashiana, and it was my passion project. I love what dad did for us and taught us. So I just wanted that company, anybody who joins the company, we give that book so anybody reads it, so knows the value systems of the company, and it's easier to pass the value systems of the company. And thank you for sharing that. It makes my day a lot better. Thank you. And we have Prakash Pandey. He had a very different journey. He actually did a lot of research, I heard, and a lot of research, and uh, he got to know Rahul through a very different angle, and I will let him share. He works in Bank of America in Gurgaon, and he's been living in town for 7 months, and I would like him to give his journey.
Uh, so Ankur, all is started in December 18, not December 18. It's almost like September 2018. So actually, my baby born on in the month of Jan on 2018. So as your baby growing, so basically I put up in Delhi only. That's my own home. So I put up only there with my parents, basically my father and my mother. So when your baby just started growing, so you required a space for her to to grow up in a better manner, because I come from a army background. My father was in army, so we have a luxury of swimming pool. We have a luxury of horse riding when we were a child, because the whole cantonment is for us only. But yeah, for a kid whose father is a banker basically and working in Gurgaon and living or put up in a place called Dwarka nearby in a southwest Delhi basically. And we have a park, NCD's park over there, but again, like, that's not safe for your child. You have to be very cautious while when you are with your child or a small kid with in this park. So all these things are burning in my mind. So I started searching a home. So yeah, Rahul has very well said. So I started my journey because my most of the relative are put in Noida West, and some of them are in Greater Noida also. So I started my journey over there. I started searching on each and every weekend. I leave my home in the Saturday morning, early morning, and then on the Saturday night I put up somewhere in my relative home, and then again I do the search whole day on the Sunday. So it's almost like 2.5 months. I'm doing the same on every weekend. So all of a sudden, I got to know about Rahul from my elder brother. He was basically a professor in LPU, so he was teaching Rahul actually. So he got to know that Rahul is working in Ashiana and all that. So actually, my immediate juniors, some of them are also working with Ashiana from last like more than 5 and more years, as per my knowledge, basically. Like, so then I come to Ashiana, Bhiwadi basically, and I come to Bhiwadi just for the sake of Ashiana, just to see the Ashiana property. And as already described by your previous speakers, like yeah, again, that's eye catching. Everything is eye catching. Let me tell you, I moved to each and every, let's say, each and every property in Noida, from your Wave Town to Wave City, then all NS24 wala properties, then your like we have the biggest inventory in Noida West only. More than 2.5 lakhs of houses are still in the inventory part. So, but again, when I see Ashiana town basically, I also went to Ashiana Tarang, if I'm not wrong. Again, Tarang was in between, Pahadis and all that. So I got a feeling of Gabbar Singh movie that people are coming on horses from mountain and all that. So I come here again, eye catching, but look, I'm a banker, so everything is very important for me. My debt part, my savings, because if you are in a job, so you're basically the income is your job only, and your projections, and your you can say your annual increment and all that stuff. So you have your own house in Delhi, and again you are getting a house in city called Bhiwadi. So I still have very old school thought in my home. Like, my father was not totally agree with me on my option on choosing a Bhiwadi, a place to put in. But again, like in the life you have to move on, और आपको ये decide करना ही पड़ता है कि what is good for you and your child. So I thought, why not Ashiana town? And then I basically I take a trial over here. So all those options which are available from your sales team has been governed by me. Or let me tell you, I have visited this property more than 5 to 6 times. Uh, I I put up over here for almost like 2 or 1 nights with my whole family. I have a, let me tell you, I have a dry run over here. So I have I hope I have traveled 2 or 3 days from this place only to my office basically, and to see like how much time will be required to reach my office and at what speed. So all that I have done, and finally I decided to move in, and I got this house in 2018 December basically. So like for me, because my house from my office is almost like 17 kilometer only, my Delhi house, and here it is almost like 55 kilometers. So you can see the distance and all that, but still, yeah, like for my child, I have taken this decision to put up in Bhiwadi town basically, and not an easy journey for a for a person who is a banker basically, because we do a lot of analysis on the debt and the interest and all that part basically. But again, I thought like my balance sheet is good enough to take this house, so I took the decision and finally I got in. Yeah, and let me tell you one good thing, Ankur, that earlier I was not put up over here because my office are on a daily basis. But when lockdown started last year only, so I think it's today, it's almost like 6th of March last year. So we put up in, because in Indian work culture, like we are MNC, they are basically a bank from America. But again, like people who are working are all are Indians and having a same mental breakthrough, like घर से काम होगा कि नहीं होगा, होगा भी तो कितना होगा and all that, because data is very important for us, data security and all that blah blah. So we thought that it's almost like a week or two, और उसके बाद we again back to office. But let me tell you, it was in more like 1.5 years, and we are not seeing that we are going back to our offices, and anything less than next year August, or maybe so. But again, एक चीज और है, मतलब as a business point of view, I think this is the major reason why I put them over here, or from last like 8 or 7 months I'm here, when we have a lot work pressure or everything. So have your cup of tea and then move to your gallery and all that. So it's a very good stress buster, let me tell you, because Nirma is in front of me, so I can see like people are enjoying their life and all that. So that's one of the major cheerful thing for me. But yeah, again, like so COVID is again like helpful for me to start put up in this place only, because earlier I used to move from Delhi only, because Delhi is again like 17 kilometers, almost like 20 minutes in the morning and 25 minutes in the evening. And luckily I don't have any signal between my office and my house. So but yeah, so this is regarding the analysis. So let me tell you about the other real estate, like properties and the ventures. So when I moved to Noida, the main the area of concern, like they have a broker, then sub broker, and then again a sub broker chain of sub brokers. So property has been developed and maintained by one entity, sell by another entity, sub broking by another entity again. So when you enter into their sales office, the lots of people are sitting on a different round tables, and everyone having their own rates for the same unit. So again, it's create lot of doubt in your mind, like what sort of property you are going to buy and how it is going to be good for you or not, and how worthy it is, and what is the value of your property basically. So but yeah, again, in you can say in Ashiana, I have the good part is that you have a single contact person. You can contact with them. Again, I tried very hard to negotiate on price, but again, let me tell you, like Rahul and Rahul and Rahul and Steam had not, they have not lowered down the rates. So again, that's another thing. But yeah, in the end, you feel good that you have buy something very good for you and your family. So that's it.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you
my
so much,
story.
प्रकाश जी. एक बहुत important आपने तो one of the things हम जब भिवाड़ी में लोग को देखते हैं खरीदते हुए, biggest question आता है family और friends का, भिवाड़ी कहाँ जाएगा? Did you guys get a problem like this? और जब ये problem हुआ तो how did you guys react और क्या किया आप लोगों ने इसके बारे में? प्रकाश जी आप start नहीं, पहले let's start with Nagarjun ji and then we'll come back to you. Go ahead.
So, Ankur, like as I just mentioned in the last conversation just few minutes back, it's all about even I definitely agree with all the speakers over here and my fellow neighbors, that it's not about just owning a house somewhere. Just okay, you might have a disposable income just to spend left, right, center, just for going that you pay that premium to that brand, but also certain things has to be like noticed that is the brand paying back you the value for money that which you have. So I just mentioned you, I didn't just buy a home. Today I just feel 1153 is not just my unit. The Ashiana town is what I paid my money for.
So the entire property, I feel that, like the money which I paid is not just for that 1450 square feet flat. No, it is almost like the 20 acres of project. I feel I own this. This is all mine. This is the entire thing is my home. This is what the feeling that I first get. The second thing is, like as, as we discussed, it's about how you manage your financial planning. See, today, my debt free planning was for the last, like for the next 5 years. I thought probably by the next 5 years, I get my debt free zone is what that I was meeting my limit. Today, genuinely, I can tell you, probably 2023, early 2023, I would go debt free completely. Not even a single penny of debt is what my already I see the projection. It's like realistic projection that I have. And apart from that, like uplifting your lifestyle, not just by being in Gurgaon. I think like this place has given everything. To- Today I can own whatever I want, which I never thought of. Like I got a bike for myself, car for my family, and today I'm in Gurgaon, and since morning I think I have burned almost like 75,000 in shopping just to upgrade my decor of my house. Really, I'm sitting in a shop where I'm like purchasing my chandeliers and some lighting, ambient lights for my home. So this is what it gives you a leverage, next level leverage, that probably which you could have not thought of spending so much. But like now I see that every penny has been spent very wisely just because of you made a right decision of buying a property where you are complete. If you want to go debt free like me, I recommend everyone, please plan your financials and make a right decision. And Ashiana Town is something that which you can get it. No other investment plan is there. So I think this is
Thank you
one thing
so
I'm
much.
really happy, really happy. I have everything today, whatever I thought of owning one, just within 1 year. This changed my perception of living a lifestyle actually. So this is a complete package for me rather.
Yes, and thank you. मेरा एक perception था कि
And
the people who are coming.
sorry to interrupt you.
हाँ,
And you know what? To answer your question, yes, my friends and colleagues envy me to the core. I have the most expensive phone today, and I have the most expensive lifestyle. One of the most expensive phone, right? Okay. So this is what, like, when I see now they envy me. Naga, like, what the hell, man? Like, kahan se chap raha paisa? मैं बोला कि नहीं. It's all about the saving and the right investment that which I did. I think probably which is paying me back. With that, I'm like really able to uplift my lifestyle. Yes.
and thank you so much for sharing. And I'm glad your friends are jealous. That's what we want them to be.
I want them to be jealous.
uh, and एक मेरा perception था जो आज change हुआ, which is a very important perception. I thought people from Gurgaon जो आ रहे हैं, that's like an affordability question. जिसको afford नहीं कर सकते वो आ रहे हैं. But what I'm hearing is it's not an affordability. You could have afforded Gurgaon clearly, all of you guys could, but आपने choose किया because it's quality of life. And you're making better financial planning, saving that money, doing what you like. The millennium is spending in resorts, spending in hotels, spending in
Absolutely.
cars, design. And thank you so much for sharing it. Keegan, sorry, did you have any kind of family or friends issue? Yamaha में कोई बोल रहा होगा यार कहाँ आप ये चुन रहे हैं?
Yeah, so maybe for me, I did not care anyways. I'm from Goa, so I've left Goa and I've lived in Bombay. I've lived in Gurgaon for some time. So I do not have any strings attached. I think the question that you're asking is mostly for people who are. I've seen a lot of my friends who have come here. A couple of friends also who bought stuff in Ashiana. And there are lots of people who've come, they've seen, they like the project, they've gone back. I think the biggest hurdle is, I think, family members. For people who are born and brought up in Delhi or Gurgaon, for them, it is like Bhiwadi was like on their way to Jaipur. And like people and friends and neighbors, kahan jungle mein liya hai ghar. So that was the thing. They like it, but I think it is that family pressure, peer pressure, friends that they grew up with, when you tell them, oh, I bought a house in Bhiwadi, I think that's the pressure. For me, there was nothing like that. And
and it was the same pressure जब दिल्ली से लोग गुड़गांव जा रहे थे, लोग जब दिल्ली में लोगों को बोलते थे कि गुड़गांव जाओगे, I remember when I was in high school बोलते थे गुड़गांव कौन जाएगा यार, पागल है क्या? And I think the similar kind of pressure is there for Bhiwadi, and it will change obviously. We know the development what's happening there. Prakash, you were talking about your father, and मैं आपके conversation में कुछ आया था कि यहाँ पे issue आता है, क्या हुआ था exactly?
Regarding what, Ankur?
कि फैमिली का क्या था डायनामिक्स जब आप भिवाड़ी को
मैंने अगेन एक्चुअली क्या है कि माय फादर इज बेसिकली फ्रॉम आर्मी बैकग्राउंड, तो एक ओल्ड स्कूल थॉट होता है कि जो आपका मकान होना चाहिए ना, दैट शुड बी विथ लैंड ओनली. सो स्टिल दे आर नॉट वेरी मच इन फेवर ऑफ अपार्टमेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ फैसिलिटी एंड ऑल दैट, बिकॉज हम बचपन में आपको पता है कि इन कैंटोनमेंट वी हैव अ अपार्टमेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइक, वहाँ तो क्वार्टर्स ऐसे होते थे जो गवर्नमेंट क्वार्टर्स होते थे बेसिकली. सो एक वो था कि यू हैव टू बी योर ओन लैंड व्हेन यू आर पुट अप और बाइंग एनीथिंग द प्रॉपर्टी, जो एक हमारे यहाँ चलता है. तो एक वो था. दूसरा अगेन द एरिया, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द रिलेटिव आर पुट अप इन नोएडा और नोएडा वेस्ट और ग्रेटर नोएडा रीजन. सो बेसिकली दे हैव देयर they have their you can say the undue pressure on the family members कि ये वहां जा रहा है, कैसे रहेगा, कैसे आएगा, कोई पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट नहीं है, हम तो नोएडा से मेट्रो से दिल्ली आ जाते हैं एंड ऑल दैट blah blah. And so but again as already been like जो सोसाइटी थी आने के बाद, लेट मी टेल यू वेरी फ्रेंकली, I visited on almost like all the semi you can say semi Finnish or Finnish society in Noida only or Greater Noida, but it's very hard to forget this society. तो वो जो याद था ना कि हम शाम को जब बैक टू होम आए तो ये रहता था कि नहीं जी आसियाना बेटर था, तो वो रहता था. मतलब when we and my wife are when we return from any properties, तो हम ये डिस्कस करते हुए आते थे that was far better than what we have seen today. तो एक तो ये था. बट अगेन भिवाड़ी, बट हाँ मेरे साथ अच्छा पार्ट क्या होता है कि व्हेन आई वाज आप जब भिवाड़ी में आप पुटअप करते हो एंड व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग इन गुड़गांव, तो आपका ना ट्रैफिक हमेशा अपोजिट होता है. इन द मॉर्निंग ट्रैफिक कमिंग फ्रॉम दिल्ली साइड, so again you are on the lighter side and you can laugh on the other side of the road क्या वो कर रखा है. And when in the evening you come na, so you are again on the other side of the road, so again you can laugh on the people who are messing on nearby ambience and all that nearby toll. और अच्छी बात क्या है कि when you started coming out from मानेसर ना, तो मानेसर टोल के बाद you are like मतलब कोई है ही नहीं आपके अगल बगल, आपकी गाड़ी के अगल, तो इट्स फीलिंग लाइक दैट. सो बट अगेन नाइस प्लेस टू लिव. एंड मैं तो रिलेटिव्स को बुलाता हूँ, वो एक दो बार एफर्ट डालने के बाद आते भी हैं, और वो आते हैं तो बोलते हैं हमारे पास पैसा होगा तो मकान यही लेंगे. तो ये भी है. बट लेट्स सी कोई टर्न अप होता है कि नहीं होता, वो बात की बात है. बट हाँ या डेफिनेटली. तो हाँ, और काफी अच्छा बनाया आप लोगों ने, मतलब
थैंक यू सो मच. एक इस पे कम्यूट पे बात हो रहा है, तो वो भी बहुत जरूरी. So a lot of our sales guys use this statement and tell me if it's true or not कि पहली बार आते तो टाइम लगता है, लगता है कि भिवाड़ी दूर है, दूसरी बार आते तो टाइम थोड़ा कम लगता है, और धीरे धीरे used हो जाते हैं. So Keegan sir, you've been traveling a lot, very often. What's your been experience on the travel side, and then we'll go to Nagaland side.
For me, I think more than the travel, 2 years ago, my job involved a lots of traveling. I had to rush to the airport early in the morning, and coming back was late in the night. But the drive to the airport, I think around about 50 minutes. And I think on the way back is like an hour and 5 minutes. That's it.
And it's quite comfortable for you.
It's quite comfortable to me because I've got, for me, it was not about reaching in office in time. I need to go and get the flight.
You can't miss that one. Okay. And Nagarjunji, what's been your experience on the travel side? You're on mute.
Yeah. So Ankur, I think, there's a saying that, the toughest, the destinations will take you to the beautiful places, right? So I think, I very much believe in that statement, not just because of the town or probably I'm living in Bhiwadi. I have this perception, like the very first time when I traveled, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. I mean, like if you travel like this, you're going to like end up with either, you have to go to a physio, or you get maybe a completely a physiotherapy done for yourself. But trust me, seriously, I have seen people traveling from Faridabad, Meherpar. I have a lot of friends and colleagues who live in different part of NCR.
For me, the best thing what I felt is, after experiencing this commute, because when I got the handover of the property, I made almost like two visits every week for almost like 1.5 months. One thing that which really impressed me is that like you really doesn't feel that strain or fatigue when you drive from Gurgaon to Bhiwadi. That's exactly because you actually see the other side of the road and you make fun. Okay, यार ये तो फंसे हुए हैं, तो हम तो जा रहे हैं आराम से. So I think once that the city traffic is over, so you have a like beautiful road to drive. I never felt that. And exactly, like I usually take 50 minutes to 1 hour maximum flat from my, office to home or either the other way around. So I have like zero concerns. Yes, few things here and there. I think the government has to really look into the potholes and puddles. That is something that like in India it's pretty much everywhere. So you got to get to
But
live with it.
there's some good news that road is getting developed now. So there is a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
conversation which is
I heard that
happening.
there's some serious discussions happening on that part.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So
yeah, I'm absolutely happy. I told you, right? Like now, commuting from Bhiwadi to Gurgaon, I feel like, okay, yaar, chalo, ek din to शहर जाके देख के आएंगे. Like that's fun. Like, we are happy with it.
great. I'm so glad. And Prakash जी, हम लोग अब ये भी बोल रहे हैं कि with work from home or hybrid होने के कारण काम, it will become very interesting to live in Bhiwadi right now Gurgaon अगर 2 to 3 times भी आना है, maybe 4 times भी आना है week, that's like it's still very doable. And आप तो shift भी किए because you work from home है. तो have you at all traveled to work at all from Bhiwadi, कि अभी आपको बहुत नहीं करना पड़ता है over the last 7 8 months?
Ankur, like we have not been in our office since last year only. 6
Okay.
March was the last day when I was in office. Last year 6 March. And let me tell you, बिल्कुल लैंडस्केप चेंज हो गया. अब तो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, आने वाले टाइम में we have a different work culture in India also, relatively with the MNCs who are working virtually, basically like we people, because we are working virtually over here. So like I look after like Hong Kong area and all Singapore and Asia Pacific or Greater China businesses for my organization and all that. So everything is virtual for me. So you have your desktop or you have your laptop and internet only, and that's it. आप उठो और शुरू हो जाओ. तो मेरे लिए तो life is better for me since lockdown. No doubt, work pressure has been increased due to if and buts reason, because economical market are not so as normal as it was earlier, basically due to pandemic and all that. But again, life is easy because we are working from home, and if you have a better home to work, then it will make your life more easier.
Great. And we're coming almost at the end. So let me just ask you these questions. So you guys have covered कि we saw the town, wow था, बहुत सुंदर लगा, अच्छी तरह से maintain है ये. But can you like say कि दो ऐसी क्या चीजें हैं, each one of you, दो ऐसी क्या चीज है जो आपको लगती है आपकी लाइफ में better हुई है भिवाड़ी शिफ्ट करके? If we just to shortlist the top 2 things for you.
So for me, I think the ultimate statement is whatever I dreamt of achieving or owning 5 years, 10 years down the line, everything has been achieved in one single year. In terms
Wow.
of my savings, in terms of all my wishes and desires and everything. This is my
Oh, your voice is not coming clear. Something happened to the earphones, it seems. Hello?
Am I audible now?
Yeah. Yeah, you're audible now.
Am I audible now?
Yeah. Yeah, you're audible now. Sorry.
Okay, so what I was saying is my ultimate answer is like whatever I dreamt or like
Still the voice is
It's not very clear.
yes.
Okay, I got your answer. We'll just go to प्रकाश जी. आप बोलिए, फिर कीगन जी से पूछेंगे कि उनका आपके अकॉर्डिंग आपका टॉप 2 क्या चीज रहा है जो
अब जो सबसे बेटर और बेस्ट है मेरे पार्ट के लिए, वो मेरी डॉटर के लिए. सो इट्स वेरी इजी फॉर मी टू मेक इट डे. आई जनरली बस आप लिफ्ट का बटन दबाओ एंड यू आर इनटू द पार्क्स, जो दिल्ली वाले मेरे घर पे नहीं था. दैट वाज आई वाज मिसिंग. तो वन थिंग दैट जो दूसरा पार्ट है वो मेरे लिए है कि यू हैव योर लाइफ इन टेंडम नाउ. You I can walk in the morning if you have a gap of 15 to 20 minutes, बस आप नीचे उतरो and have a quick walk in the campus anytime in a day or in the night also. So ये दो चीजें जो मेरे लिए बहुत impactful है, because uh, I think I am missing these things in my previous home. So ये दो better है मेरे लिए. Yeah.
Fantastic, great stuff. Better health for you and your child, and better relationship. Great, Keegan sir.
Yeah, certainly. There's so much of less stress compared to buying something in Gurgaon, where you will have so much. The rest of the life you're just paying EMIs. You're just running for somebody else. You're not doing anything for yourself. So that way, for the children, definitely there's so much of open space. I would definitely love my daughter to grow the way I grew, running around in open spaces, climbing trees. Lots of recreational activity where she can play badminton and things like that. So that it's not only about kids today are mostly only over the phone. They only are either playing games or watching YouTube throughout. For a proper development of a child, you need to also, there's physical activities that you need to do, and go around, and I think fresh air, open spaces, green places, I think that's what is also important from children's point of view, for a total development. So that's what I would say would be a great plus for me.
Great, and I think that's an important thing. And I remember seeing your daughter play in the child and then in the kids play area with other kids and making those friends and the relationships which we all cherish when we get older. Great stuff. Uh, so there's few questions, and I'm going to open it, and whoever would like to answer. One question is कि how safe is Bhiwadi compared to Gurgaon? Safety में क्या feel होता है आपको? कम ज़्यादा? Anybody wants to take it up?
I think I have never experienced anything unsecure so far. Whether it is inside the premises or on the way when we travel, I never felt that. Yeah.
So you don't have a comparison, but you have not felt anything which is unsafe in Bhiwadi ever in your travels or anything like that. You never felt scared of traveling in that area. Okay. Anybody else? Prakash ji or Keegan ji, आपके according कुछ ऐसा कोई difference?
No, in terms of I think traveling, even during late hours in Bhiwadi, I've never had any problems. It was never an issue. It was, I think, pretty much okay. Like as if I even in maybe Gurgaon would be more unsafe. We get lots of stories now from Gurgaon of things happening during odd hours. But I think in Bhiwadi, I've never heard of anything, nor have I experienced anything bad so far.
Do you think the DMIC project will impact the Bhiwadi real estate market? It's a more of a real estate question. I don't know if it's a lifestyle question. If you want to take it up by any chance, anybody has any take on it? It's okay if you don't want to answer this one. What about schools, hospitals, roads, corporates? What is the future development you guys see in Bhiwadi happening? जब आप लोग real estate खरीद रहे थे, did you guys do any research on Bhiwadi as a market? And do you see that market growing from a school corporate perspective?
Yes, I
I
have.
think there are enough of decent schools to choose from if you not want any of that extra jazz that you want, and you only focusing on education. I think Bhiwadi is a good destination, and I think you've got a handful of schools, decent schools to choose from. So I don't think that's the problem. In fact, that's a big bonus for people coming, especially from Delhi and Gurgaon out here. Uh, it is like the good old days when we used to go in school. Things were very competitive, and students are thought about education is everything, and to be competitive rather than all the other stuff that is around, all the other extracurricular activity. That is one thing about schools. I think hospitals, there's lots of, I think there has to be something to improve things in hospital. When I'm saying this statement when I'm comparing it with Gurgaon, definitely they are like way behind. But I think basic stuff can be worked out. But I think hospitals need a big boost and push and improvement.
So if you were looking for primary care, it's available. But if you're looking for specialty hospitals, very like high-end testing, things like that, that's not available, is what my understanding is. Am I correct in that thinking?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Primary
Good.
care, I think, is good, but I think secondary or something specialty is.
And what about shopping and things like that? Where do you guys shop?
Shopping today, you go online. Yeah, you don't need to. You don't need to go and get anything out from here. And shopping is Gurgaon. Gurgaon. It's only maybe eating we want something here. But I think they're covering all the eateries. Like you got McDonald's, you got Subway that is coming, you got Haldiram, and then the great dabas. Yeah, you just go for a drive, eat, turn the car, and come back. Whether you want to go maybe towards Jaipur or you want to go to Gurgaon.
That we are. Restaurants and all are great. Shopping malls are average-ish. You generally go to great shops to Gurgaon. If you want, online shopping is available, and pretty much you're taken care of that way. Fair. There is one more. Again, this is all development questions. So medical, you've kind of answered that. So yeah, I think the questions are kind of answered. Ashiana team, is there any other questions which we have not covered? These are more on growth, so I don't know if they would be the right people to answer that. So I've kind of done that. There's a question on Surbhi's road. We've kind of been helping, trying to develop that, but that's been a little bit of a challenge in which we'll keep trying to improve, but it's not been, the approach road to Surbhi has not been as great as we'd like it to be, but we're working on
approach road work will start within a 10 days.
Yeah, so we keep improving it. We have those challenges, but that's the only other question I see. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I hope, really appreciate it first and foremost. I know it's difficult. And thank you for being honest and, giving your feedback the way it is. I hope people who are listening to it is informative. It gives you an idea on how people have looked at Bhiwadi working in Gurgaon, and hope to see more of you at Bhiwadi. Thank you so much. Have a great day.